Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to reach Ghana on the first leg of his five-nation visit, opening up of new windows of cooperation in various sectors on the agenda. Quad condemns all acts of terrorism and violent extremism in all its forms, calls for action against perpetrators of Pahalgam terror attack without any delay. And Iran suspends cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency IAEA, accuses it of siding with Western countries and remaining silent on recent attacks on Iranian nuclear sites. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has embarked on a five-nation visit to Ghana, Trinidad and Tobago, Argentina, Brazil and Namibia. Prime Minister Modi is visiting Ghana at the invitation of President John Dramani Mahama. Ghana is all set to roll out the red carpet for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. A historic visit aimed at deepening India-Ghana ties across trade, technology and development. In his departure statement, the Prime Minister highlighted that Ghana is a valued partner in the Global South and plays an important role in the African Union and the economic community of West African states. Further, Prime Minister Modi said that he looked forward to his exchanges aimed at further deepening historical ties and opening up new windows of cooperation, including in areas of investment, energy, health, security, capacity building and development partnership. The Prime Minister will also be addressing the Parliament of Ghana. Prime Minister Modi will also pay an official visit to Trinidad and Tobago, which is the first bilateral visit at the PM level to Trinidad and Tobago since 1999. In the third leg of the visit, Prime Minister will be in Argentina, followed by a visit to Brazil to attend the 17th BRICS Summit on 6th and 7th of July. In the last leg of the tour, Prime Minister Modi will undertake a state visit to Namibia. DD India correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya is covering Prime Minister Modi's Ghana visit in Accra. Listen in.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set for a five-nation visit, and the first stop is Ghana. And right now, I'm at the capital of Ghana, Accra, where we have got a glimpse of what exactly is happening. There's, in fact, on road, you will find a lot of posters of Prime Minister Narendra Modi welcoming him. And let's find out what the newspapers are talking about. This is the first newspaper, Daily Graphic. The headline is Fortifying Golden Alliance. This is the newspaper. That's the headline. And just below the headlines, you can see Narendra Modi's visit to Ghana. That's written here. And also, it shows, how both the, country can work together. There's an economic and trade relation. In fact, political and diplomatic relations were set up way back in 1953 when India had a full-fledged diplomatic relation, and it also had a high commission in Accra. So that they also mentioned the fact that there is a 15,000 Indian diaspora here in Ghana, which is working in Ghana and actually is working for the upliftment of the Ghanaian people. Now there's a second newspaper, which is the Daily Guide, which is a very interesting headline that they have come up with. In fact, One Earth, One Family, One Future, they have also come up with this. And this also showcases, the welcoming Prime Minister Narendra Modi, how the both countries can work together in, as Prime Minister Modi mentioned in the fact in G20 that it's a one Earth, it's a one family, it's a global South that one has to work together, one future. So that's something that they've been mentioning, they've been talking about. So both countries are expected to sign MOUs, which is expected to be a game changer for both Ghana and India. And it is expected that Prime Minister Modi's this particular visit will be a major game changer for both countries' diplomatic relations as well. With camera person Momukur Sharma, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for DD India from Accra, Ghana.
In the heart of Accra stands the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, which is a tribute to Ghana's founding father and its first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Clad in Italian marble and crowned with the Black Star of Unity, the monument stands as a powerful symbol of Ghana's journey to freedom and its enduring legacy. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya has filed this report.
I'm in Accra city, the capital of Ghana, and here Prime Minister Narendra Modi will start his five-nation tour. This is the first stop, Ghana, and here at this Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, I am here. It's a place where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be coming. This is the place dedicated to the first president of Ghana, and I have with me Dr. Collins, the executive director of this particular memorial park. Sir, Prime Minister Modi is coming here. It's an excitement for you also that, the first president, the memorial park, and our own Prime Minister from India is coming here. How do you feel?
We feel very great. We feel very great. India and Ghana have shared very rich history together. We have all been partners in the struggle for colonial liberation or liberation from colonial rule. And so it's an amazing time for us to receive the Prime Minister. We are grateful. We are looking forward to seeing him, and we'll be here waiting for him.
Right. Also, sir, this is the place where the first president of Ghana was buried along with his wife, and this particular place looks like an upside, sword. Tell me the exact meaning of this, and how does that signify this current scenario in Ghana?
So this symbol actually shows two things. It depicts two things. One is the sword. Sword turned upside down. Now, sword turned upside down means peace. If the sword is raised up, you are at war, but when it's turned upside down, it is peace. And so he stands for peace. He's always been a peaceful man. And then the second one is a tree, a truncated tree. If you look at it, you see that it kind of looks like a tree. At the bottom looks like, the roots. Right. And then at the top is kind of truncated. It means that Kwame Nkrumah started something really powerful. Along the way, he was cut off just like a tree. And so we use this to remember all the beautiful things that he started, but which were cut off because he couldn't, yeah.
Right. Also, sir, both India and Ghana shared a lot of values, a lot of history. Both were under British colonial rule. Now both want to grow together. How do you see India's role in helping Ghana become a developed country, especially when it comes to the West Africa and the African region?
India has been a very powerful ally to the country for many years. Since independence, it has contributed immensely in terms of technology, in terms of architecture, in terms of a lot of other things. We already, in fact, the very idea that we have our presidency, in other words, the official office of our president, has been designed and built by India. That shows the extent of the connections that we have between the two people. So I think that would India help us? Absolutely. They've been fantastic so far, and we're just looking forward to having more of India's involvement in our political and economic life.
Appreciate your time. So that was the executive director of this particular National Memorial Park, stating that India and Ghana shared values, and they are looking forward to going ahead in the future together. With Person Rockets, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for DD India.
In a groundbreaking step towards food self-sufficiency, Ghana has launched a climate-resilient wheat initiative in collaboration with India's Arima Farms and CSIR Crops Research Institute. With wheat imports crossing $400 million annually, this project aims to cut dependency and boost local farming. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya spoke exclusively to Arima Farms MD Salai Manikam, who highlighted how South-South cooperation is driving agricultural innovation. She also shared how many Ghanaians admire and follow Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership. A new chapter in India-Ghana partnership is being sown.
Wheat has been introduced to Ghana by them, along with CSIR, one of India's prominent institute. Isn't it, ma'am?
Yes, please. So we have brought wheat after a research of 2 years along with the CSIR, their Crop Research Institute in Kumasi. We thought that was one of the crops which could be indigenously grown here, developed here.
You mentioned the fact that CSIR, one of India's premier institute, was working with you people. to shed some light on what was the whole thing was, how many years you guys were working?
We have Arima Farms, we have MOU with CSIR, and we are working jointly in research for few crops. And one of it was wheat, which we have successfully announced in Feb. And we have few other crops which we are developing together. We work there. The CSIR in Ghana has 13 institutes. So we work with various institutes for various aspects of the research.
The Indian diaspora continues to play a vital role in strengthening ties between India and Ghana. In a heartening example, Rajendra Mishra, Director, Alma Medical Laboratory, a dedicated member of the Indian community in Ghana, has taken it upon himself to provide medical assistance to local communities, reflecting the spirit of service that defines India's global outreach. Mishra says the people of Ghana are excited to welcome Prime Minister Modi and are optimistic about deeper collaboration with India in healthcare sector and beyond. We get you this ground report from Accra.
Joining me is Rajendra Mishra, Indian diaspora member who's been working here in Ghana for long, and especially when it comes to medical infrastructure. Sir, tell us how you guys are helping. India is helping Ghana in this field.
See, India, we are Indian. We have our diagnostic center here. We are helping Ghanaians a lot, and Ghanaians are also, they are very cool. They are helping us a lot, but they need a lot of infrastructure. They need a lot of medical help in the remote area. In the city, we have some good hospitals, but in the remote area, we don't have any good hospital. So, Indian government can help them a lot to do health facility better in the remote area. There are hospitals in the remote area, in the building, and all the technology.
Are they looking forward to Prime Minister's visit? I mean, I know a lot of people are actually talking about Prime Minister Modi. They believe that he can do a lot for Ghana.
Definitely, Ghanaians are very excited. Even we heard this news from Ghanaians. Our Prime Minister is coming. They are very excited. They are waiting a lot of things that Prime Minister will announce in the infrastructure, in there something like, let's see, technology, food technology, a lot of things, agriculture. Agriculture is very back here. So they can also help in the agriculture. See, in India, advance in the medical agriculture. So they are expecting a lot of things from Indian Prime Minister to announce, and they can do the tie-up, and they could do a lot of things.
You are a member of Indian diaspora. How excited you are and your community to welcome Prime Minister Modi?
See, here, like as a member, we always available for our community. Anytime, if we have any call that this person have problem, we send our team. Sometimes we go ourselves to help them to hospitalize in medication. And we have some team of the doctors. Doctors go there to help them, to all our Indian community and some Ghanaians also.
That's the Indian diaspora, helping the people in Ghana, and making sure that India's name is called by many. They've been appreciated here, and that's the best part of Indian diaspora. Wherever they go, they make the place their own. And with Prime Minister Narendra Modi coming here, it's a huge opportunity for them to once again put forth their community here, and at the same time looking forward to welcoming Prime Minister Modi in Accra, Ghana. With Prasar Bharati, this is Tapush Bhattacharya for GD India from Accra, Ghana.
India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held a very productive meeting of Quad foreign ministers in Washington, D.C. Leaders of the grouping, comprising India, the United States, Australia and Japan, discussed ways to make Quad more focused and impactful on contemporary opportunities and challenges. Minister Jaishankar stated that the gathering strengthens strategic stability in the Indo-Pacific and to keep it free and open. Quad foreign ministers condemned unequivocally all acts of terrorism and violent extremism in all its forms and manifestations, including cross-border terrorism. In a joint statement issued by US, India, Australia and Japan, the leaders renewed their commitment to counter-terrorism cooperation. The leaders condemned in the strongest terms the Pahalgam terrorist attack, calling for the perpetrators, organizers and financiers of this reprehensible act to be brought to justice without any delay. The leaders also urged all UN member states, in accordance with their obligations under international law and relevant UNSCRs, to cooperate actively with all relevant authorities in this regard. The ministers also announced key initiatives to strengthen maritime and transnational security, economic prosperity and security, critical and emerging technologies, and support humanitarian assistance and emergency response across the region. They also announced the launch of the Quad Critical Minerals Initiative, an ambitious expansion of partnership to strengthen economic security and collective resilience by collaborating on securing and diversifying critical mineral supply chains. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar also held key bilateral meetings. On the sidelines of the Quad Foreign Ministers meeting, he held productive conversation on advancing India-US defence partnership during his meeting with Secretary of Defence Pete Hegseth.
We believe that our defence partnership is today truly one of the most consequential pillars of the relationship. It's not built merely on shared interests, but we believe really deepening convergence and of capabilities, of responsibilities, and what we do in the Indo-Pacific we believe is absolutely crucial to its strategic stability. The world is a complicated place, I think perhaps growing in its complexity, and certainly our partnership and the contribution that we can make together, I think would be of immense importance, not just for us, I think, but for the larger region, I would even argue for the world.
Dr. Jaishankar also met his Australian and Japanese counterparts on the sidelines of Quad. External Affairs Minister said that he looks forward to welcoming Penny Wong to India. Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Donald Trump announces Israel's agreement to a 60-day ceasefire plan for Gaza, urges Hamas to take the deal. Australia's Qantas Airlines says 6 million customer accounts accessed in cyber hack. This is the biggest security breach for the country in years.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Iran on Wednesday suspended its cooperation with the United Nations nuclear watchdog, with President Masoud Pezeshkian signing a law passed by Parliament last week to suspend cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA. The law requires any future IAEA inspections of Iranian nuclear sites to be approved by Tehran's Supreme National Security Council. Iran accuses the global nuclear watchdog of siding with Western countries and remaining silent on recent Israeli and US attacks on Iranian nuclear sites. The nuclear watchdog said that it was aware of the reports and was awaiting further official information from Iran. Earlier, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi acknowledged serious damage to its key Fordo nuclear site in US strikes. US President Donald Trump has asked Hamas to accept a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza, stating that Israel has agreed to finalize such a deal. Trump, in a post on social media, said that his representatives had met with Israeli officials about the raging conflict ahead of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's visit to Washington, scheduled for next week, in which Trump said he would be very firm. Trump said on Tuesday that he believed Netanyahu wanted to end hostilities in Gaza. Trump also said representatives of Qatar and Egypt, mediators in the conflict, would deliver this final proposal. In March, a previous ceasefire deal collapsed when Israel launched fresh strikes on Gaza. The previous ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas, which started on 19 January, was set up to have 3 stages, but it did not make it past the first stage. On to the Russia-Ukraine conflict now. Kremlin said that Russian President Vladimir Putin and French President Emmanuel Macron had a very substantive conversation on phone about the Ukraine conflict and about the Iran-Israel conflict. This was the first such exchange between the two men since September 2022. French President Emmanuel Macron urged his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin to agree to a ceasefire in Ukraine. Though the Russian leader blamed West for the conflict, Putin also said that any peace deal should be comprehensive and long-term, provide for the elimination of the root causes of the Ukrainian crisis and be based on new territorial realities. In Australia's biggest breach in years, its airline Qantas witnessed a major cyber attack that exposed personal data of up to 6 million customers. Hackers accessed a third-party system containing names, emails, phone numbers and birthdays, but no credit card or passport information. The airline says flight operations were not affected and has reported the breach to Australia's Cybersecurity coordinator. Last week, the US Federal Bureau of Investigation said that cybercrime group Scattered Spider was targeting the airlines, with Hawaiian Airlines and Canada's WestJet already reporting breaches. Qantas has so far not named any group. Qantas's share price was down 3.3% by mid-session trade against a flat overall market. And on to sports news now. First news from cricket. India were 98 runs for the loss of 2 wickets at lunch on the opening day of the second test against England at Edgbaston on Wednesday. Yashasvi Jaiswal anchored the innings with an unbeaten half-century. After being put into bat, India lost opener KL Rahul cheaply and Karun Nair fell for 31 just before lunch, with skipper Shubman Gill joining Jaiswal at the crease. While England went with an unchanged lineup, India made 3 changes, resting pace spearhead Jasprit Bumrah as they manage his back issues through the series. Sai Sudarshan and Shardul Thakur were dropped, with Nitish Kumar Reddy, Washington Sundar and Akash Deep coming into the playing 11 as Gill looked to ensure that India could bat deep after the tail collapsed twice in the first test. India's Ira Sharma booked her spot in the Canada Open badminton tournament after winning her qualifier match in Calgary on Tuesday. Ira Sharma made short work of Miranda Wilson to cruise to a 21-9, 21-13 victory. Ira will next face Bulgaria's Kaloyana Nalbantova in the opening round of the main draw, which will also feature Shreyansi Valishekte and Tanya Hemant. India's men's singles squad includes former world number 1 Kidambi Srikanth, US Open champion Ayush Shetty, Priyanshu Rajawat and Shankar Muthuswamy. On Sunday, Sao Paulo's iconic Avenida Paulista turned into a vibrant canvas of devotion and culture as the Sri Radha Govinda Gaudiya Math organized its annual Rath Yatra featuring the chariots of deities Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra. The procession was accompanied by devotional singing, dancing and distribution of prasad. A week-long prayers and celebration continue at the Lord Krishna's temple in Sao Paulo.
Bhaktivedanta Vana Goswami Maharaj from Vrindavan organized the annual Rath Yatra in Sao Paulo. It was a great event for thousands of devotees.
Thousand people, they also chanted Lord's sweet names, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. Same image manifested and in here in India, Jagannath temple in Chipapuri. All the devotees, they're so much enthusiastic, mridanga, kartal, and also different instruments they also played, and devotees very happy. And all the devotees, not only the devotees and non-devotees, and everybody also participate in this grand festival of Lord Jagannath in Paulista.
This year was an amazing Hatha Yatra, very beautiful, very colorful, and very full of love. And I love every year. It's so much ecstatic mood, and everything was great, perfect.
Biggest emotion in my life was something just amazing. I'm still feeling, you know, a lot of feelings. It's was something out of this world, was something spiritual.
That's all for this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on our DD India mobile app. The app is available on both the Android and iOS platforms. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja. From all of us here in New Delhi, thank you for watching. Namaskar.